Billy, you want to open the box?
Sure.
What box is it?
This is a box of our book, Wrestling with Wisdom at the Crossroads, the aphorisms and poems of Malachi Montroy with the illustrations of Madge Marley Howell. So we got in our big bulk order today.
Well, late yesterday.
And anyway, pretty exciting. Some folks have already ordered it on Amazon, but we do have a big bulk order here. And I can't necessarily remember who has told us they want one, but if you want one, please let us know. And if you're in a locale in 30 to 40 or so miles, I'll bring you one. Even if you're in Oxford, I'll bring it to you.
That's cool. Very sweet. Thank goodness.
Wow. So, we've got quite a few of these. And Madge had asked me a question before this, and again, none of this is planned. I don't do anything planned, and that's pretty obvious. This book's been about 10 years in the making. It's over 2,700 aphorisms, which are just kind of concise and witty statements I've written over 10 years, and 77 poems and Madge's illustrations. It's got a devotional companion with it. It really tells you how to use this book kind of on a daily basis and in small groups or by yourself, and also maybe how to approach looking at scripture and other weighty readings. But anyway, it is, Madge had asked me the question, who's this book for? And I will never tell anybody they need to read something. I don't like folks telling me what I must read. I don't mind suggestions, but reading and what we engage with is a very personal thing. But who would this book be for? And I will say, if you ain't real interested in doing some thinking, it probably ain't for you. And that's okay. It ain't for everybody. But it will require some thinking, some thought, some critical evaluation. You may agree with a lot of the aphorisms. You may disagree. There's a lot of multiple entendres in them, and I would say the poems are more spiritual in nature, not always easily understood like most poems. But I think this book's for anybody who's really looking at something unique. It is a genreless book. It doesn't fit any genre. It's kind of like Americana music. It's hard to define, so it's hard to market. But this book is for anybody who I think really is looking for a unique project to engage with, or who wants to maybe deepen their communication with somebody they value in their life, whether a spouse or a child or a family. And it's just around some easy quotes and poems to where it just gives you discussion starters maybe. And with discussion starters, communication can develop. And I always say on my tours that one thing I think why so much literature and art and music in every form has come out of the Mississippi Delta is because we offer a lot of slowdown. There's a lot of time for reflection, and without reflection, it's hard to get better at what we do. And in this fast-paced life, it's hard to slow down. And this book is really for somebody willing to slow down and do a little bit of thinking. And I think it, for anybody that's willing to engage it, I think there are a lot of nuggets that can, really bless you, to overuse a word. But I'll never tell anybody they need it or have to have it. But I think for those willing, and if God puts it on your heart, I think it can bless you. Because there's a lot of meat in here, there is. And there's a lot of me in here, which could be kind of painful. But anyway, it's just a unique offering. And you can look at it on Amazon and get a little feel for it. And we'll do this as a post on our Delta Bohemian blog. And if you got any questions about it, then ask me. I'm not going to put the heat on you to buy it, but if you want to know a little bit more about it, give me a holler. And anyway, did you think I ought to read anything, or?
Well, it might be nice to show people kind of what the inside looks like, or I don't know.
Well, there's the preparatory note, and I'm a big believer in, and we kept the preparatory note and the introduction short. I do a lot of reading, and I always read a preparatory note or an introduction because it just gives you kind of a guideline for the book. A preparatory note just tells you the why of the book, and an introduction tells you more the how. And we've got the Devotional Companion here that just tells you how Madge and I go about our morning devotional that we started after COVID, and it's a highlight of our day. I mean, it really is. And it doesn't tell you what you need to do, it just tells you how we do it. And then it tells you a little bit about the aphorisms. And then it begins the chapters, and there are 31 chapters, and, you know, a little less than 100 aphorisms per chapter, and we use it similar to how we read the proverb of the day. And it's got a lot of poems in it, 77 of them. And
how do you use the proverb of the day?
Well, what we do, like the proverb of the day, there are 31 chapters, and we either read the entire chapter that we started out, and now we pretty much just pick a proverb out of the chapter in the Bible and discuss it and apply it to our daily life. And we somewhat do the same thing with the aphorisms during our devotional. Madge will pick an aphorism, and we read it and talk about it. And everyone seems to be something that we can find something to discuss about. And then the poems, like I'll just read a little bit of the first one, Soul of the Poet. And this really somewhat is an encapsulation. It was one of the last poems I wrote, but it seems to encapsulate the tenor of the whole book. Soul of the Poet. Soul of the poet fraught with pain, soul of the poet outside the main. The poet's soul knows no bounds, feet firmly off the ground. Head in the heavens, heart in the breach, searching for reason, purpose, and reach. Paths unpredicted, austere, forlorn, foot before the other, tattered with scorn. Visage shattered, emotions in tatters, pores secreting all that matters. Yearning for answers none rarely given, highway detritus, leaving him shriven. Affected by all not resolved, piercing the gloaming, a siren's call. Shipwreck presaged, determinism set, free will and option, magnetic the net. Melodies warble, dragnet complete, resistance futile, a Faustian meet. The poet may wander, windmills to tilt, pilgrim's progress, relieving the guilt. Path not known, the poet may groan, onward he stumbles, drawn the unknown. Sirens may shriek, compelled he may be, listen for whispers, God he may meet. Nerves red with raw, rationalist guffaw. Straggle he may, searching the way, crossroads before him, seek the way. And then it's got Madge's illustration, and I'm big into alienation, and it's got a man just on kind of an ephemeral path, and there's just the hint of a cross down at the end, which is symbolic of a crossroads. And all 4 points on a cross go to infinity. And that's the wrestling with wisdom at the crossroads, is we all have paths. And we all have decisions to make at all times. And it's just wrestling with that wisdom at the crossroads is where we struggle with making good choices, right choices, and hopefully in that we may seek the way and we might find God and his wisdom along the way. So that's what it is. And there is a picture that Madge took of me paddling years ago out in Moon Lake. It's one of my favorite pictures. Again, the alienation of me in the water, and then her daughter designed the cover. And anyway, Wrestling with Wisdom at the Crossroads comes from Proverbs 8:1 and 2. And it's symbolic of the fact that in the Mississippi Delta we live at where the Faustian crossroads is, but also we live in an area that is renowned for our faith. And one of the quotes I have, the aphorisms, is wrestling with wisdom is a cage match between good and evil. Mm. Cheers. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks, Billy.
Is that okay?
Yeah.